Enjoy all episodes of the RCWR show on iTunes, Stitcher, Tunein Radio, Spreaker, and iHeartRadio.
My weekend was fantastic. I got to spend a little bit of quality time with the girlfriend, and we had traveled out to deep out in Frederick, Maryland, and she was like, well, here's one thing you can scratch off your bucket list. I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, well, look over to your right in the 2:00 direction. And I looked and I got treated to Sonic Restaurant, and I've never been to a Sonic restaurant before. I've always wanted to go. I've been seeing the commercials on these guys for years, and I'm sure you all have seen the Sonic commercials with the two white guys. I love them. I think they're hilarious and everything. I just hope that ABC doesn't get the idea of giving these two guys their own show revolved around Sonic food, because the last time ABC tried to give an individual or individuals a TV series based off of how popular the commercials were, it didn't last that long. I don't even think it made it like 5 episodes. You guys remember the whole Geico, so simple or so easy, even a caveman can do it? Anybody remember the caveman from Geico and his family getting their own series on ABC? I might be the only one that remembers that. Some of you might be like, Lee, you're ribbing us. That did not. Yes, it actually happened. Do a Bing, Google search. Don't believe me? Look it up yourself. ABC actually, I don't know what the hell they were thinking. I don't know, maybe a bunch of them were sitting around on 420 and they were lighting up a big fatty or two. I don't know what the hell was up with that, but I'm hoping that ABC doesn't look at the Sonic guys and be like, maybe we should give them their own series. They're pretty popular in the commercials. People are always talking about them. Yeah, I hope that doesn't happen, because that would just be downright freaking stupid. But man, the food at Sonic, it was so fucking good. I had a steak and cheese sandwich, and I was telling my coworker about this yesterday. Told him, I said, man, the steak and cheese sandwich, it was so clean. And he goes, what do you mean by clean, Lee? And get it? How about that? What do you mean by clean, Lee? And he literally said that, by the way. And I told him, I said, well, basically the presentation, I could see everything that was in my food. I was able to identify it off the break, the onions, the cheese, the meat, the seasoning. I mean, everything I was just able to look at off the break, not just analyze it for 5 minutes. I was able to just look at it. Boom. Everything's processing in my head from what I'm seeing within seconds. The grease, there was like hardly any grease. It just tasted very clean as well. You know how normally you eat into a good burger or a steak and cheese and you taste the grease is just bursting and exploding all in your mouth and all that. You kind of got to get a napkin and do a little touch up there, because your lips are going to be all juicy and succulent looking and all that. And no, I bit into it and all that. None of those problems. Even the fries were good. I was like, oh, I was in heaven. I was in heaven. I did not know this, but apparently you're supposed to like tip the Sonic people that deliver your food to your car. I didn't know that. And, cause it was so weird, cause like he brought the food in and me and Tammy, we were enjoying it, and I couldn't help but kind of go, do you think that guy was expecting a tip? And she's like, no, I don't think so. No. And I'm like, I don't know. I think we were supposed to tip him. And she's like, well, maybe we can just give him $1. That should take care of it. I'm like, no, don't insult the man. I'm like, that's $1. We should give him $5. And she's like, oh, you're too damn gracious. And so it just started this little friendly debate between the two of us for a couple of minutes. And then I was like, okay, let me squash this. So I went online and I typed up, are you supposed to tip the Sonic food delivery people that are on the rollerblades? And they literally, what you see on the commercials, what you get. Some of them will actually come out on rollerblades. They'll bring your food. Others will just walk right on up to you. And I saw reports that basically said these guys, they get like minimum wage. I saw something from like 2008 at the time that said, at least for their respected state, it was like $4.25 an hour was minimum wage. I think now the average is about $5.25, maybe $6. But that they do rely on those tips. They do say it's not mandatory, but it's kind of like a morale code type of thing. It's like, you can tip this person, but the truth is, do you really want to tip this person, or is it a case where you want to be a cheap ass motherfucker? How's your morale compass doing? And for us, we were kind of under the impression that maybe we were going to be able to tip whoever was going to bring us our food, because now when you pull up through the drive-through, and it's so badass the way they have the system set up. For those of you that's like never been to a Sonic before, you pull up to these little drive-through spots. That's if you can get to one. If not, you're kind of like in this line with other cars waiting until somebody moves, and then you go accordingly. So you pull up and there's the menu, and there's like a little intercom, and you press it when you're ready to order. You give them your order. They tell you your total, and you can slide your card right there, put in your numbers and all that. Unfortunately, according to Tammy, there was no option for a gratuity tip for whoever was going to be delivering the food. But I did read in a new report as early as a year ago that they are trying to work on implementing that when you go up to those machines and process your order with your credit card. So I was kind of like, okay, cool. Cause we didn't know, we didn't have any cash on us. And, I can tell you, for me, I definitely felt pretty bad walking away saying, hey, I got my food delivered to me. And the guy was kind of expecting a tip because he was kind of lingering around, and it was kind of like, but, I would say anybody that's in the Frederick, Maryland area, this is how I'm kind of making up for that. You've never been to a Sonic before, go to that Sonic. It's got my seal of approval. Have a little bit of patience. When we went there the first go round, we went there over the weekend, and it was so freaking busy, man. So freaking busy that they actually had to shut the place down for about an hour because they were so behind on orders. There were people that were literally waiting like an hour for their food. I BS you not. An hour for their food, they were waiting. So bad, they had to shut it down, and, we went shopping around the area, and then afterwards, it was kind of like, you want to go check them out one more time? I'm like, I don't really know. And she's like, well, I tell you what, let's go over there one more time, and if they aren't open, then we can go on ahead, and there's Arby's across the street, or maybe we can go to the Ruby Tuesdays. I'm like, all right, well, yeah, okay, well, let's go ahead, let's try these guys one more time. And that time we were able to not only get a drive-through spot or whatever, but we were able to place our order, and our food actually came rather quickly. It came like within, my God, I think we were only waiting about maybe, I would say probably 10 minutes total we were waiting. All right. But check it out. Great stuff right there, man.